Back when I was a kid, our skulls were constantly on fire, and we liked it. We loved it. Oh, hello. My name is Kevin Beisel. I'm the human genius who made this game, Lonza the Bounty Hunter, and now I'm going to play it. There's a couple modes, but today we're just going to focus on the main mode because it's the best part of the game. There's a longer version of this video if you want to see more of the gameplay. I'll put a link to that in the description and some timestamps for this video because I'm guessing that, like most people nowadays, your attention span is completely fried and you just want to jump around because you're a fidgety moron. But here we go. Let's just... So you have the bolt shot, which is unlimited. You have rail shots, a slow-mo ability, and the orb shots. All the enemies have 2 hit points, but you can kill them in 1 hit with the rail shot. The hitbox for the player is the little blue window on the ship. That's a lot of unnecessary hits. And if you can't tell, pretty much the strategy is to keep moving and keep firing constantly. Otherwise, it just basically the screen fills up with enemy fire and you'll get wrecked. You know, it's like when the proctologist got into a car accident. He totally wrecked him. Hey! So, anyways, if you can't tell from that joke, I used up all the witty banter in the longer video, so pretty much I got nothing funny to say in this one. And so, vertical level, we'll just go ahead and put my handsome face down here. So yeah, all the good material was in the other video. I mean, I have jokes about people I like, people I don't like, you know, like, got a nice little riff in there about Arcus, somebody I like quite a bit. He has a great channel, lots of good speed runs. My main source of mockery would be somebody like Destiny, yeah, just like a smooth-brained idiot man-child who does the stereotypical internet thing of I talk really fast. I talk really fast like this because I have nothing interesting to say and it's all vacuous nonsense anyways, and I'm a complete and total moron. I just hope that if I talk fast enough, nobody will really notice. I mean, fucking just, what a loser. What a cringy fucking loser. And, you know, as much as I find people like that just worthless and annoying, I have as much contempt for somebody like a Vosh, who's sort of like, you know, the just awful Ann Arbor stereotype of someone who talks like this. I talk like this so that I sound like I'm very educated and thoughtful, but everything I say is kind of predictable, standard, and boring. I act like I have insight, but I really don't. But I'll talk very thoughtfully. It seems like you're listening to NPR, but you're really just listening to a great big fatso say things you already know. And I say that, but then again, I could listen to Nat Christman all day, probably because, like myself, he's a bald fatso from the Midwest with an annoying voice. You know, just a big bald fatso who used to do too many drugs and has an annoying voice and thinks he's right about everything. So maybe I just, you know, I like it because he reminds me of myself. But those other guys, fuck them. Oh my god. Could not be more annoying. Could not be bigger losers. What a bunch of nerds. Who's somebody else I don't like? Danny O'Dwyer with his god-awful documentaries about video games. Oh my god. Imagine like having that much money and that like many resources at your disposal and everything you make looks like a bargain bin EPK special feature from a DVD. You know, an electronic press kit from like a DVD. Like, oh my god. Just imagine like putting out content like that and thinking it's worthwhile. Woof. Okay, so instead of showing you every boss fight, I'm just going to show you the good ones, I guess. I mean, hey, they're all good, but I'll just show you the best ones. How about that? Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead and see if you can guess where this design was taken from. What's that? Oh, yeah, you're right. It is a giant Cylon helmet with legs. It's not the other thing that most of the other people guessed. It's a Cylon helmet with legs. It's totally what it is. And I don't know if this is really a better boss fight, but it has, I would say, a little bit more effort put into it. You know, at least the background is unique. It's not just outer space. And I could probably nerf this one a little bit. Maybe make the delay on these shots a little bit longer. But then again, I mean, it's a boss fight. It ought to be fucking challenging, for God's sakes. Oh, and a gameplay tip I guess I could offer here is that the beams that shoot out from most of the bosses, when they first appear and they're slightly transparent, you can't be hurt by them until they turn solid. So, but yeah, fucking dirt. See you later. So we'll go ahead and face down there. Oh boy, let's do the vertical boss, or one of the vertical bosses. That's right, it's a great big flaming skull. Back when I was a kid, our skulls were constantly on fire, and we liked it. We loved it. Just every day, my skull would just burst into flames, and I liked it. I loved it. Nowadays, your skull doesn't burst into flames very often, but when it does, ooh boy, look out. So, the gameplay tip I'd have for this guy is that if you are in a safe spot when those beams first appear, if you stay in that general area, you should be safe every other time the beams come through. And this spot is usually a pretty safe spot to be. If you're keeping a constant rate of fire on him, by the time this third phase starts, if you're on this side of the screen in this general area, you should be safe. Also, I'm very pleased that I picked one of the bosses where I somehow screwed up the death animation. That big explosion that comes out the middle of the screen and then just stays there, that shouldn't happen like that. What a great fight to use this demonstration. Okay, so for the final section, we'll just cover some like comments or criticisms that I have of the game. Basically, the name is partly a misunderstanding on my part. There's a Will Ferrell movie called Casa de Mi Padre where all the characters speak Spanish, and there's a character that's basically like a animatronic tiger and is called La Onza, which would be L-A space O-N-Z-A. But because I'm not very educated or worldly, I ended up spelling it this way. So I really just chose it because I think it's a cool name. And if you're scrolling through Steam, you know, like just sifting through endless trash, maybe a name like that will jump out. And also, just bounty hunter is like a cool phrase. So that's sort of the reason that the name was chosen. People could argue that, you know, the game doesn't have much of a bounty hunter theme to it, and I suppose that's true. I guess I would say that the boss fights could be the bounty contracts, but originally the main mode was supposed to sort of look like a deep web, dark web kind of forum where you would select bounty contracts, but I scrapped that for the kind of simplicity of just this layout. You know, everything's unlocked. If you're stuck on a level, you can progress or move to a different section and try something else instead of, you know, getting stuck and then losing interest and doing something else. I just figured if it's all unlocked, you can just play whatever section you want, you know, like Mega Man style or Silver Surfer style. So if you think the name is stupid, too fucking bad. If you think the bounty hunter title is misleading, well, too fucking bad. I don't give a shit. The difficulty level, you know, if the game is too hard, I tried to be as honest as I could on the store page by, you know, letting people know that it is, you know, for fans of, you know, fast-paced 2D combat, you know, kind of a tough as nails sort of approach. There's a demo available. There's these gameplay videos available. So if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, then that's sort of your own fault. Hopefully at this point someone's put it on a pirate site, so you could just maybe try it for free anyways if the demo doesn't give you enough of an idea. Basically, if you don't like some element of the game, if you think it's too difficult, you probably should have known what you were getting yourself into, is what I'm trying to say. The reason I made the game is sort of twofold. One, I just liked the idea and wanted to play a shmup that has 3 modes, twin stick controls. It sounded like fun, so I made it. And the other reason would be not to try to make money, because a self-published game from somebody who has no fan base and no advertising budget is not going to make money. Like, if you know anything about Steam or just the, you know, video game market in general, a game with that kind of like launch is just not going to make money. You know, maybe way down the road it's possible, but the point of something like this right now is more just sort of getting a foot in the door, and if I approach a publisher in the future, I can demonstrate that I, you know, completed a project and had the stick-to-itiveness to actually release it. So that's more the point of it than anything else. And just in general, I would say that if you don't like the game, I really don't care. You know, leave a bad review, say something mean in the comments, or, you know, just, you know, get it out of your system however you want to, but I genuinely do not care, like, at all, about hearing any, like, constructive criticism or negative criticism. I don't even really care about hearing any praise. As far as I'm concerned, the game has sort of achieved the goals I had for it. Now, I wanted to play something like this, and now I have sort of a calling card to send to publishers. So if some crybaby loser doesn't like it, I don't care. If you are the kind of person who gets on the internet and complains about things, well, I mean, that just sounds like a very, very sad, empty life. And you probably need to get like a real job and have actual friends, and then maybe you wouldn't spend your time on the internet complaining about stuff. So having said all that, if you have a technical issue with the game, or you have like a reasonable question that you want to ask about it, you could contact me at dumbestboyalive@gmail. If you just want to complain, don't bother because you won't hear back from me. I do not give a flying fuck at a rolling donut about any of that shit. But I hope that you got something out of this, because otherwise I'd hate to think that I wasted my time. You know, I'm not used to doing that. But anyways, go fucking suck a dick.